We got one more set of questions here. I actually have extra questions, but if we run out, I can just keep going. But I don't know where we go. All right. So last set of 6 questions. We're going to ask a question about VLE, Virtual Learning Environment. That's your Blackboard's, WebCT, Desire to Learn, Angel, Moodle, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture, right? That's a VLE. I like that better than IMS, LMS, CMS, the whole thing. So VLE, we're only talking about that virtual learning environment. It's an important component of e-learning. Second Life will be the second coming. And through web analytics reporting, we are learning a tremendous amount of useful information about the behavior and activities of our online students. Now, this is the only question I gave you gradients, and I'm kind of just trying it out. Okay, so it's not just a reality and myth thing. I want you to rate on this scale how important you think your virtual learning environment is. Absolutely essential, very important, important, slightly important. All of those are kind of important, or more. And then you got the one at the bottom, not really necessary. So I could have added more granularity, but I thought that was probably good enough. How important do you think your virtual learning environment is to e-learning in general? And we're just about up to our number. All right. 4% say it's not really necessary. Only 8% are. So really, what's that? 88% are unimportant to very important. So, Desire to Learn, Angel, who else is down in the vendor booth? They should be happy to hear that. Desire to Learn is not happy to hear anything right now, except good news out of Texas is what they're looking for. But there's very little news coming out of the trial, so it's kind of frustrating. Second Life will be the second coming for teaching and learning. Reality or myth? All right. Survey says. Ooh, ouch! For 7% of you, you've got a savior on the way. The rest is... All right. Through web analytics reporting, we're learning a tremendous amount of useful information about the behavior and activities of our online students. Web analytics is basically what they're doing, what they're clicking on, So it's really big in business because they're monitoring who clicks through ads and does this and buys a product and all that. The question is related to our e-learning, the behavior of our students. Web analytics reporting. And I've heard quite a bit about this in the last couple of years. Quite a bit. And Deborah, you should add something on your list about this. Interesting answer. Last 3 questions, and then we'll talk about this group. Through the use of rubrics and standards related to the quality of online courses, such as Quality Matters, we are sufficiently addressing the questions about e-learning quality. That's going to be your next vote. The cost to the institution and the price or tuition to the student should be lower for e-learning than for traditional bricks and mortar education. And online learning is plagued by a huge number of fictitious students. Through the use of rubrics and standards related to quality of online courses like Quality Matters and things that are similar, we are sufficiently addressing the questions that come up constantly about the quality of online learning. And we have just about enough responses. Thank you very much. Let's check it out. About 1/4, 3/4. The cost and the price of e-learning should be lower than traditional bricks and mortar education. Close enough. Got to click. Oh, there it comes. All right. Still helping me out, Travis? Appreciate it. And online learning is plagued with a huge number of fictitious students. Or, large number, if you like that word better. They don't actually exist. Or they're not who they say they are. Yeah. It's some avatar somewhere taking your course. You don't know it. You know, it's the dog on the internet. Nobody knows you're a dog on the internet. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. So, same question for the non-e-learning crowd if I ever get in front of them. Same answer? Must not be, because a lot of people are talking about this, so, you know, that must not be the right answer, or else they're all wrong. And I'll let you decide which that is. All right, so I asked the question about how important VLE is, and 88% of you said important or more than that. Extremely important. Jeez Louise. They're so inflexible and so 1999. They need to open up a little bit more and all kinds of stuff. And you know, there's a session that's scheduled here about personal learning environments. I would recommend that you check that out in the schedule. You know, if it's something that interests you. Kind of a whole different way of looking at this whole question of, you know, do we need this walled garden for everything that we're doing? You know, I do a lot of workshops on Web 2.0 concepts and stuff like that. I did some workshops today. We did it inside the virtual learning environment, because that's where you all live, I know. But we started to look at how these tools can be used in there and start to open up some doorways for communications and stuff like that beyond the 22 students who are inside that little walled garden. So I really hope the future looks different than the past up to the current day. We'll see about that. All right, so I asked the question about whether quality matters is sufficient, and a large percent, about 3/4, said no. Said, no, that's a myth. Quality matters does not answer all of our questions, and I agree with you. Now, before I go any further, I got to tell you that we have used Quality Matters. We've used an adaptation, our own adaptation of Quality Matters for about over 3 years now at Lake Superior College. In year 1 of their FIFSI grant, they gave us their version 1 rubric to use and said, do with it as you like, and we did. And we have a completely faculty-driven peer review process that has been, I think, fabulous. Best professional development thing we've done with our online learning faculty. Absolutely. I am a big, big fan. But it's not the answer to all of our questions. It's one answer to our questions. It looks at course design, and that's an important factor. But it's one leg on at least a 3-legged stool. Now, you could argue, you could put a lot more legs on this stool if you want to, but I'm going to just try to talk about 3 different legs on this quality stool, and that sounds really bad. So scratch that. But we have quality concerns about the quality of learning, about the quality of teaching, and about the quality of course design. And Quality Matters gets at that one, course design. And the reason I even bring this up is I hear so many people say, oh, quality? We use Quality Matters. We've got it covered. We're good. Good to go. No problem. All right, well, there are 3 very different things. And so here would be the little pyramid where students are learning, and we know that because we're doing assessments, good assessments related to the quality of student learning. Quality Matters doesn't do that either. Teaching level. Through whatever performance evaluation system you've got different, everybody does it differently pretty much, but you've got something that measures the quality of the teaching that happens. We want that level to be high, that's good. And then we've got the course design, and things like Quality Matters will answer that question pretty well for you. I think it works well in that question. But that's what we want. We want good, high levels of learning, high levels of teaching, and good course design in a perfect world. So, here's another possible outcome. The teaching level is high, based on performance evaluations, observations, blah, blah, blah. Course design meets standards, that's a good thing. And the learning is not happening. How proud are you of the first 2 down there? Do you think maybe we've got an issue that needs to be addressed in this case? If you say, this class, this is the best designed course we've ever had using the Quality Matters rubric, and you don't look at whether the students are learning in there or not, you're not getting it done. Learning level is high, teaching level is high, doesn't pass Quality Matters. Let's see now. The learners are shown to do it, they are learning the content, they're performing well on whatever assessment measure you want. You observe the teacher and you think the teacher's doing a good job. The course design just doesn't quite cut it. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. It'd be nice to have all three, but if I'm going to give one up, I'm giving up that one. Learning level is high, course design is good, teaching level is bad. I call that an ick. So we got issues to deal with, and I think that's entirely possible. You go back, there's learning that happens in some of those correspondence type e-learning courses. There is learning that happens. They can monitor that students are learning content with no teaching happening at all. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but it happens. So it's possible, but still, that's only a part of it. Double ick. Here's another who cares on Quality Matters. Beautifully designed course. Teacher doesn't teach, students don't learn, but boy is that course beautiful. So clearly we got to get past the whole Quality Matters is the answer. Quality Matters is part of our answer. Now we've got to figure out the other two parts. I think we're doing a terrible job so far of doing that. It's not just in e-learning, of course, but that's something that we need to pay attention to. There's your triple ick. It's all bad. Throw it out. Sort of. All right. Fictitious students. Well, we hear about that. So most people should know this now, but if you don't know it, pay attention. Pay attention not to me, but pay attention to the news, because one of these days, the Senate bill and the House bill for the Higher Ed Act, which basically, I don't think they're using the word reauthorization, but that's what it is. They've got their language in there about you got to authenticate who the distance learner is. That apparently it's a solution looking for a problem. At least we think that that's the case, right? So they're gonna tackle that, and we don't really know how that's going to work. But stay tuned, because already I hear people talking, well, we're going to have to proctor every exam. We're going to have to do this. We have to do that. We don't know for sure what it's going to take to meet their whatever their criteria turn out to be. But it's probably going to change our lives in rather substantial ways, unless something happens along those ways. But well, it sounds to me like we're going to be working real hard to fix a really small little problem. I'm not saying there's zero problem, but I think it's probably a really small problem. All right, well, that was 18 out of 35, so we went through about half the list. Oh, sorry, a little echo there. And if you want to see the other half, you have to bring me to your campus, and I'll go through the other half of those. We have about 2 minutes if you'd like to either make your comment about one of those points or ask a question. If there's anybody who'd like to share the floor temporarily. Anyone? How did I totally take all the interactivity out of you? I think I may have. Well, I guess you just want to get to both the reception and the beach and the pool, right? So do I. So thanks very much.